So the next topic, the next topic that we're going to talk about is retirement and life-changing, priceless tips to retire early. And so we all want to and love the idea of retiring and also retiring early. But this often takes careful planning and consistent actions over time. And so, you know, you may need to save more money or work harder than someone who plans to retire at the traditional retirement age of 60 to 65. And even nowadays retirement is getting pushed to be much later as well. And so importantly, if you would like to retire early, there are things that you can do, and the time required to retire is a function of many factors. And your situation may differ from others, and there's going to be a lot of factors that will affect it. But here, I think there are going to be a lot of tips that you can implement regardless of your situation. And so, as an aside, my dad just retired at around 65 this past year, and it was a very interesting year for him because a lot of his fellow friends who worked at his job are of similar age. And just in this particular year, we had one of his friends had a very serious medical issue and end up in the hospital. And so, my dad has been really upset about it and telling his friend, he should retire because, you never know what's going to happen in life, and you don't know how long you're going to be around, and just retire and enjoy your time after the age of 60, and not suffer through a job where you're making only minimal amounts as well. And so, just retire is what he's, trying to explain, and I 100% agree. And so, this individual has a lot of medical issues, and it would be really nice for him to just get some time away. But he's actually, out of commission because of the medical issues. And even after he recovers, he would probably spend maybe several months working and then hopefully retire at that point. But what's even worse and crazier is, just 6 months after that, another one of his near retirement friends, something happened. And he would tell my dad, why would you retire? You should, work a little bit more, and, you'll get a even larger retirement check. Work a little bit longer, work a couple more years, and you'll get an even larger retirement check. And so my dad responds with, "You're crazy, just, retire. Getting a couple $100 extra for your retirement by working an extra couple years, it's just not worth it. Retire." And so my dad and I are on the same page. I would have said, retire. Who cares? Just retire. But what ended up happening with his other friend is he ended up falling down the stairs and he ended up passing. He never got to retirement. And, those couple years that he's pushing to get to retirement, and just for a couple $100, and then in the end of the day he didn't get to enjoy the many decades that I'm sure he had in his life. And so I think we should learn from these situations that you only live once, and I think it's a lot better for us to take the actions that we have available to us and not push in a job that makes us minimal money just for a couple $100 and retire later. No, there's actually a lot easier ways to live life, and there are people who will retire within a couple years. It just takes some creative financing with regards to pursuing real estate, for example. People have been known to retire in a couple years just pursuing real estate. And so if you purchase a property and rent it out, you can make the amount of money that somebody makes in retirement. And so when you do the math, my dad has worked his entire life at a minimal, pay rate. But if you buy and rent a property out, you can make that amount of money in just a couple years. And so this video is all about retiring early and, getting there, not just at age 60, but at much earlier ages. And so we all want to retire early, but it does take careful planning and consistent actions over time. And so know that you will need to save up more, you will need to work harder than other people, but importantly, you can retire, and it is possible. Just you have to work at it. And so here are some proven recommendations to get you to retire early and get to that goal. And so first tip is to create a budget and stick to it. And so you'll want to identify how much income per month you need to retire comfortably. And so this amount is subject to specific preferences that you have, and your wants and your needs, and the needs and wants for your family. And so I prefer listing these in a Google spreadsheet or Excel. That allows you to list out your debt, monthly payments, expenses, incomes, and calculate your cash flow, which is your monthly income minus your expenses. And so your cash flow is super important. If you've never heard of this term, definitely look up how to calculate your cash flow. Your cash flow basically tells you how long it takes for you to pay off your current debts. And it also tells you a lot of information about, what you can afford in your daily life. And so you can consider your cash flow before you determine your preferred monthly income you need to retire. Also consider the amount of saving or retirement account amounts that you currently have. You'll maintain and monitor changes to your expenses, your income, your cash flow, and calculate all of these different items. And so, Google Spreadsheet is free. Definitely check it out. So the next thing you're going to want to do is monitor and increase your cash flow over time. And so to increase your cash flow, you'll want to increase your income and reduce your expenses over time. And so to increase your income, consider maybe working more hours or getting a better pay rate or a promotion or a job that will pay you more. You could also work more hours or get a side job or, become an entrepreneur and have a side business. There's a lot of different things you can do to increase your income. So you're capable of more than you know. Stay open-minded and motivated. For example, in college, I used to, because I was in the Coast Guard Academy, I kind of was very used to working really, really hard. And when I transferred to my military academy and just became a normal civilian human being, I still had that work ethic, but also was pretty intelligent in that, learning academically, I did pretty well. And then I also not only pursued an abnormal amount of credits of like 19 to 21 credits, I also did 3 sports. I did soccer. I did, cross country and volleyball, was the captain. 2 of those sports were in the same season because at the military academy, there really weren't that many girls, and so they allowed us to do more than one varsity sport in college level at the same time. And so for A lot of my academic seasons, I did, cross country and volleyball, was the captain. I held records in volleyball, and I also pursued 5 separate jobs. I think it was a little crazy, but it was actually something that was feasible. I would actually run to and from classes and work. It was really interesting time frame. I would say I wouldn't really recommend it, but I know it's possible for anyone who wants to try it. So imagine 21 credits, a lot of classes, and then 5 separate jobs, and then also 2 varsity sports where, you're held to a high standard because it is, college. And, being captain, I had a lot of responsibility. But my jobs included residential advisors. So I would get woken up at all hours of the night when fire alarms would go off, and I would do admissions representative work, and I would do some tutoring. I was a private tutor for a disabled student and was hand selected by the academic dean. I was a swim instructor, and I was also a separate job, which was a tutor for the just main general tutoring center. And so those 5 jobs, it wasn't the easiest time frame, but I'm saying that you can do creative things like that as well. I believe in you. So anyway, my father also, he had 2 full-time jobs for over 10 years, working 40 hours a week during the day and then going to his night job and working another 40 hours a week. And then, military, they work 24/7 and all hours of the night. My NOAA job, we worked 84 hours a week. That's 12-hour days. And during my NOAA time, I actually did pursue my master's in environmental law. And so I just know that you're fully capable of working hard and getting done whatever you need to get done. You just have to be a little bit creative and then also prioritize sleep and your health. So I would say most definitely sleep at least 4 hours at a time, and do so twice a day. So then at least you get maybe 6 to 8 hours of sleep. But even if you sleep in 4-hour increments, it's a little bit better than not sleeping at all. So definitely put in sleep because that will allow you to function and drive safer. So tip number 3, strive for workplace bonuses and promotions, and ask for a raise, and try to get as much income per hour that you possibly can, because this will help you get to your retirement goals. You can start tip number 5, which is freelance work or graphic design or other different things you can do remotely, electronically on your computer from home. So you could start a side business, and then for example, you could also do some writing on medium.com. You could become a YouTuber. You can try affiliate marketing or network marketing, or sell digital products online. And so there's a lot of different things that you can do. Another way to make income on the side is you can rent out the things that you own. And so you can rent your equipment, your space, your apartment, your bedroom, your car, your trailer, your yard. There's so many things you could rent out. Just check with your local requirements and standards just to make sure you don't get in trouble. But there's a lot of things you can rent out for some income. Another way to make some money is invest in stocks, real estate, or Bitcoin crypto, basically. So if you invest in crypto or real estate or stocks, you can allow your money to grow way faster than just letting it sit in the bank. And so I really recommend investing in something that will allow it to grow and there's a lot of different things you can do. Just definitely do your research for it as well. So the next item is you can sell your unwanted things that you have online or via a garage sale. We don't really need all these different things that we have. You can't really take it with you when you go to the grave. So the things you don't need, get rid of, sell it. If it's gonna help you invest and put that money into something that'll grow, it'll help you retire, and it's just way more worth it than maintaining these items. So the next one is participate in paid surveys or groups. This is something you could do remotely and maybe make some income. Now, I've never done it myself, so good luck on that, but I'm sure you can make some money doing that. And number 13, you can build up your residual income and earn profits even as you sleep or take vacations. So the way to retire early is most definitely build your residual income. The concept of retirement is basically, making money while you sleep. That is retirement. If you are not making money while you sleep, you really can't retire. And so that's why Social Security exists. When you retire, you receive your Social Security check. And so you're making money while you sleep. But if your Social Security check is not that good, then how are you going to retire? So in reality, you're going to want to, no matter what you do in life, you're going to want to build up your residual income, increase what amount of money you're getting every month, regardless of any Social Security retirement check. Because first of all, there is inflation, and whatever you're getting for your Social Security or your retirement check, it's really not going to be enough to last you your entire life. So right now, the average life expectancy for the United States is around 79 years old, and in other countries, it's like 83. But people are living to 121, and so, if you retire at 60 or 65, and you live another 60 years, I don't know how you're going to manage living off of, a $500 Social Security or a $1,200 Social Security if 60 years from now there's a inflation at 4 to 6% every year. Your money's going to run out. And so you really have to get creative and build your residual income. And so number 14, you can purchase and provide ice, drink, or snack vending machines to different business owners, or have the ice, drink, or snack machines on different public property. You can always talk to the business owner and see if you get approved for getting the vending machine. Vending machines are actually a really great secret way to make income. And, it may cost you like a couple $1,000s up front to stock it, and then you might have to maintain it every couple months. But they're also very hands-off as well, so you're not going to be doing that much work or effort on a daily basis. They just take care of themselves and they make money, and every couple months you go and collect the money and then you restock. And so what's great about it is there's a concept called getting an operator and not really, operating your own business. And when you have a vending machine business, what's great is you can, get someone to maintain your business with a vending machine at a lower price than going out and doing it yourself. And so you can save a lot of money and still get your profits with minimal work. And so that's my recommendation, is get some vending machines, place it at different businesses, and have someone go from each location and maintain them for you, and then pay them a little bit of a portion of that money. And that's how you can grow, is, you can have more and more of these, make more and more income, and then spend less time managing it yourself by having an operator or a manager that will visit each site. So, number 15, you can gain royalties from books or music and make some money that way. Number 17, we can gain revenue through digital products and services such as online courses or ebooks or software. And you can do that residually as well. So that is a great one. So, when we think of retirement, we do not necessarily want to have or reduce our expenses to retire because we all want to live, this certain quality of life and enjoy life because, you only live once. So, you don't want to completely minimize your expenses. No, instead, you want to build up your residual income so then you can live the lifestyle that you want. And so this is because we all understand that, first of all, minimizing your expenses just isn't going to work either because we all know that inflation exists. And so even if you minimize your expenses today, your expenses are going to be way higher tomorrow. So good luck with that. Your only solution is to increase your income and by that, increase your cash flow so that you can retire. And so, with inflation, your expenses, your taxes, your insurances, your rents, and your other expenses will always increase. And so the only way to win on this one is to build your income and allow it to always increase. And so that's why financial gurus recommend owning your own property. By owning your home, you lock yourself into a fixed rate mortgage, and that does not increase like rents do. Rent will increase usually 3% every year, if not more. And, for a rent that is, $1,500, that can be, $100, $150 increase in your rent. And so in just 1 year. And so can you imagine just, having your monthly rent increase by an entire, $100? That's pretty crazy. Your job does not pay you an extra $100 every month and give you promotions all the time like that. So the only way to win is to, every couple of years, find a better job that gives you more money because they're not going to give you a promotion every year. So, you're going to have to try to get yourself a property and lock in your mortgage at a fixed rate. Allow yourself to get a little bit more cash flow by investing your money and growing your income using the different strategies I listed above. And it's definitely easier to make money the more money that you have access to. And so there are some wealthy people who are a little ignorant and they say, well, poor people are poor because they're lazy and they have no clue and they just don't try. And I'm just like, excuse me. No, poor people try harder than really anyone. They work 40 hours a week reliably every day for a job that just doesn't pay them well. And so they get stuck in this job and they have no, realization that there's better ways to go through life and to get out of that situation. But in reality, they're just stuck. And so the reality is, knowing your options and improving your life, you're going to want to be proactive. It doesn't mean that you're lazy if you're not a millionaire. No, a lot of people that are struggling work really hard. And the idea is that you have to work hard, but you also have to work hard in smart ways. Work smarter, not harder. And that is how the wealthy win, is they work smarter, not necessarily harder. And so, that is why you want to implement the different items listed above. If you want to increase your residual income, and it is easier to make money if you have money to invest and grow. And so Similarly, you don't really have to have the money yourself per se to grow that money. You can always borrow from a bank or do something else to get access to money that will allow you to grow your financial situation to be better. So just, be careful of interest rates, but one way to grow your portfolio and your situation to be a better situation is, even if you don't have the money in your hands right now, you could always get access to money through banks or partnerships with other people, and get your success through creative solutions like partnerships like that. And so you can also work with financial advisors that might be able to kind of guide you the right direction and help you invest your money that you do have. And make sure that when you're working with a financial advisor, your goals and your risk tolerance are specifically considered. You do not want to accidentally lose all the money that you worked for. You do want to maximize your gains and minimize your risk. And so definitely make sure you do your research on what financial advisors are out there and whether it's a good idea even to go with them. So if you do go with one, I do recommend going with a fiduciary, because they are required to have your best interest at heart. They may not find you maximum gains, but they'll be required to find you the gains in general. That is their intention. A licensed fiduciary is required to have your client's best interest at heart. And as I just noted, they are required to ensure that you are winning, but they are not required to ensure that you have maximum gains. And so you'll still want to do your due diligence and make sure that your money is in the best possible place that it can be, so that it can make maximum gains. Just because you have a financial advisor or a fiduciary on your side does not mean that you fall asleep and stop controlling your own money. Definitely take an active role in what happens with your money and where it's going and what is being invested in. So the fiduciary or financial advisor, they will also be taking some of your profits as a fee for their services. And so you could gain more profits if you went and did these different actions on your own without them, because you're going to have to pay for their services. So if you could go about investing your independent way without their services, then you can potentially be saving money. Just decide on whether you feel like you are capable of finding the right area to invest, or whether it's a better route to pay this fee and get some guidance along the way. Because, having a financial advisor, you are putting your money in someone else's hands. So definitely just take an active role in this. So the other thing you can do is decrease your expenses. And so you can cook at home. Number 2, you can decrease how many subscriptions you have, like streaming platforms and gym memberships for working out. And number 3, you can use public transportation more often to save a little bit more money on car purchases, maintenance costs, fuel, insurance, registration fees. And so using public transportation can save you a lot of money and reduce your expenses overall. Number 4, you can shop at outlets, cheaper stores, cheaper online purchasing platforms. Just basically look for deals when you're shopping to reduce your expenses. You can buy generic brands instead of like name brand products. Number 6, you can lower your utility bills by turning off or unplugging your electronic devices when they are not in use. You can lower your thermostat. You can use energy efficient appliances or take shorter showers or no baths or fix your plumbing leaks to minimize waste. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to reduce your expenses by or through reducing your utilities for your home. Number 7, you can use coupons and discount cards to get a little bit of a discount on the things that you do need to buy. Number 8, you can join reward programs or get better deals via your credit cards, get some cash back when you spend or other different items. And so reward programs can be helpful to minimize costs or gain, rewards and benefits when you do have to spend money. Number 9, you should pay high interest credit cards first. That is because you will reduce how much interest you're going to be paying. Number 10, you should buy used items, clothing, furniture, and electronics. That will save you a lot of money. And also, when your things get damaged, it's a little bit less stressful as well. You can replace that item way easier if you purchased it used versus buying it brand new. And then when it gets damaged, it's just way more upsetting. So number 11, avoid impulse purchases for things that you just don't need. I am a huge advocate for to-do lists and checklists. And so I actually have a couple tricks up my sleeve, and my tricks are actually that we all have, our notes in our phone, and I create checklists in there and to-do lists in there. But another weird thing that I do that I'm really not sure if anybody else does is I will text myself. Yes, you heard me. So I will text myself. And so, you'll go through your day texting all these different people and calling all these different people. But what I do in my life, and it helps me stay organized, is I will actually type into my phone my own phone number, and I will text myself different things like buy milk, go to the store, repair the car, go to Home Depot, pay the bill. And what's nice about it is your text messages basically stay forever, and you could scroll to the top to see them all. And so they're just very convenient. And what's nice about it too is how your notes are always there, and you always have to edit them and delete them and edit them. Well, text messages, they just go through, and you don't ever have to edit them or delete them. There's literally less maintenance involved with it, in my opinion. It's really just more of a reminder. And then what's also really great about it is your text message can be listed as unread or read or unread. And so I will swipe it to the left or right to make it list as unread, so then it's way more obvious. And so I know that I have to do something. There's something that I really need to do. And so, most people who have text messages that are really responsive, or at least I'm usually responsive to my text messages. And when you see the indicator that you have an unread message, it's really one of those things that you will quickly respond to. And so for me, I text message myself so then I can quickly respond to my to-do items because they will show up as unread. And so I don't really know if anybody else does that, but I really enjoy doing that for myself. I think it helps me. And so number 12, you can always downsize your home. You know, if your home is too big, you're going to be paying a lot more in utilities and a lot more expenses and a lot more costs that you just simply don't need. And so downsize your home, live a little bit cheaper, and go outside, enjoy activities, enjoy the world around you. Because the reality is, your home is only needed for sleeping, eating, showering, and going to the bathroom. You can work from home, but overall, it's most enjoyable, you know, just relaxing at home or going out and enjoying the world around you. So you really mostly just need your home to be somewhere that you can sleep and eat. And you don't even need to eat there, you can eat out. So, you know, downsize your home. You really don't need that big of a home. In the United States, we get so, you know, exorbitant about our homes. But in other countries, their homes are a lot smaller, and that's really all you need. So the next item, and looks like the last one, is to only buy used vehicles, like 5 years or more old, because, you know, buying a new vehicle, it's just an added expense, and they usually lose their value within the first 3 years anyway. So you might as well just buy a used vehicle. There's really no reason to buy a new one. And my favorite trick on purchasing vehicles that are really nice, very modern, and at a good price includes buying my vehicles from a rental agency like Avis or Hertz or Enterprise. And so several years ago in 2018, I purchased my car, 2018, and it was, you know, Bluetooth backup camera, super modern, awesome. I really love it, very great on gas. It was a Nissan, and my car was amazing. And I told this trick to my coworker, and she, you know, just got her new job. It pays really well, and she, you know, knew she couldn't afford a very nice car because, you know, her job is new. She hasn't really made income quite yet. So she went and implemented my tip and went and bought a hybrid, super new vehicle for $15,000, and she was so happy about her car. It was really nice and silver and super pretty, and, you know, being a hybrid, it was really great on gas, and so it was very modern, and she was really young, and so being very young and having such an amazing car, I'm pretty sure she looked really cool overall. So she was super grateful, and she approached me and said, you know, thank you so much for this tip. Buying cars at a rental place is so nice. Yes, the rental car drivers do run their cars really extensively, but the rental car places maintenance properly. They maintenance the cars really well. They even have like a shop, and they wash the cars all the time, they maintenance them all the time, and so you can really find a good vehicle that is just at a really good price if you buy your vehicle at a rental car place. So that's definitely one of my tips, and I really do not think I will ever buy a new vehicle. So you can quote me on that 10 years from now. I will always be buying a used vehicle. I just don't see the point. They say that vehicles are liabilities, not assets. So why would you buy a new one? Now, on a separate note, I did find out recently that another way you can increase your income is actually, as I noted above, you can rent out your vehicle. You can utilize like Turo or some other app or website to rent out your vehicle just like the rental car agencies do. And so that could be a great way to turn your car, which is a liability, into an asset. So, you know, if you're going to buy a newer car or a more expensive car, maybe make it into an asset that makes you money. Also, certain cars do cost more money to not just purchase, but maintain. So I do have some other content on this topic. So if you want to learn the best brand vehicles to buy, definitely check out the rest of my content either on medium.com, because I'm a writer over there and I have tons of articles on a lot of different topics, including health, business, and fitness, and saving the world, and a lot of other topics as well. In summary, marketing tends to encourage us to buy the most expensive brands and, look expensive. The new cool for modern 2023 entrepreneurs is actually to shift toward looking nice, comfortable, but not expensive. And so I do have an article on, being a CEO and looking well, but not looking super expensive and over the top, because that is only a liability. In the United States, everyone will get sued at least once in their life, statistically. And so, you're just more apt to get sued if you are flaunting your money or being aggressive. And, people, if they don't like you, they may create any type of story to come at you. And you just don't want that. So what I would recommend is, firstly, be an amazing person. And then secondly, reduce your liabilities, look more like a normal person, buy your used car, dress well, but not inexpensive watches that literally do you nothing. They don't do anything good for you. The only reason why I would buy an expensive watch is if I was going scuba diving and I really wanted the best technology, because it is a life-saving item at that point. But other than that, my watch will never really save my life unless it has like some type of GPS technology in it or something like that. And with regards to telling time, I usually use my phone anyway, so I don't know, save the money. And also, watches, they are usually symbolic of wasting your time, because your employer, after 25 years of working for them, they will give you a watch, symbolic of all the time you spent and wasted working, when in reality, if you played your cards a little wiser and worked smarter, not harder, you could have retired within 10 years or 5 years instead of working a full 25 to 35 years straight before retiring. So your employer will give you a watch at the end when you retire, but the watch is symbolic of not so positive thoughts. So, unless your watch has a great function to it, I just don't see the point. That's just me. But yes, watches are really pretty, and it's really nice when they do really awesome technological things. I love the functionality of that and the GPS capacity too. But, don't make yourself an easy target by, driving the nicest car and the nicest watch and having the most expensive shades. Instead, just try to blend in a little bit more. It might help you in life, at least reduce your expenses and reduce your lawsuits, and reduce the complexity of your life overall, because nobody enjoys lawsuits. They are just not the most enjoyable thing to do. They're very miserable, and so avoid it like the plague. Lawsuits are just not good. They're not fun, they're not enjoyable, they're stressful. Avoid them, please. So the next item you can do is delegate tasks to others or get an assistant. And so, as I noted previously, you don't want to manage everything that you're doing. You want to find an operator, someone that can manage things for you at a cheaper pay rate than you actively doing it yourself. Because if you can, delegate your work to somebody else at a lower pay rate, then that opens yourself up to pursuing income producing things that can just simply make you more money. And so you can focus your hours more effectively at money making things and tasks instead of doing less income producing work. That includes like gardening or fixing things or cleaning or grocery shopping, reading emails, driving, or other tasks. Just delegate those to someone else, so then you can open yourself up to do other things that can make you income a way better. So the next item you can do is ensure that you have extra savings for unexpected post-retirement expenses. And so saving will allow you to not take financially harmful decisions in times of turmoil. But be sure to set aside readily accessible funds for a rainy day. They often call this a emergency fund. Have an emergency fund. Usually that's like a percentage of your 6 months income. So like if I have an income, let's say hypothetical, of $30,000, my emergency fund might be $500 to $700. If my income is $80,000, I might want to maintain a $3,000 emergency fund, if not more. And so definitely put aside some money for those rainy days. And then some say consider investing your savings in retirement accounts, such as an IRA or a 401k. I personally do not recommend this because, you can make more beneficial investing decisions that can allow your money to grow at a faster rate than your 401k can. If your company does match your retirement contributions, then it does make it even more incentivized for you to contribute yourself. And so you may want to invest in your company matching for your retirement funds. If they match 5% to 15%, then it could make it more lucrative for you to invest in your retirement as well. And it'll make it a little bit more worthy of your time as well. So, consider, are you getting matching for your retirement contributions? Because that could be helpful and it might sway you toward investing versus not investing. Just know that you have a lot of options. So, financial freedom statistics. Being financially free means that your situation allows you to be free to do whatever you want when you want. And so according to a 2020 study by the Northwestern Mutual, 22% of Americans have no retirement savings, and 38% have less than $100,000 saved for retirement. And so in a 2020 survey by Bankrate, 56% of Americans reported having less than $5,000 in savings. And so, these statistics, they show that Americans have like an inadequate amount of savings that would deplete within like 10 years of retiring, if not a little bit more. And, this really forces them to maintain their jobs and their sources of income a lot longer than they would otherwise. And so my best tip for retiring early is to build your residual income and your cash flow. Not build your retirement saving accounts, build your income and cash flow that comes to you while you sleep. Because remember, retiring early requires discipline, hard work, and sacrifices. Yes, some sacrifices, but strategic ones. And you will need those especially early on. You'll need to start planning and taking action as soon as possible to increase your capacity to achieve your goals. And so, you're going to want to build your residual income if you would like to retire early. And so a lot of the different items that I noted above will help you get there. But know that you're going to have to work hard and you're going to have to be diligent and be creative. And you know what? Learn from the people who have done it before you. Learn from the experts, the people that are already there. If they are retired already, then they might be a good person to, learn from, because they will help you get to retirement yourself.